like that. What did she say? What did she say? Oh no, she did. No, she did. Hush now, I'm trying to eavesdrop. 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 Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mahogany Voices podcast. My name is Tish. I'm your host, along with my co-host friends.
Cynthia.
Joanne.
Tracy.
And Zethray.
Yes, so we're back from our break. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm not a singer, but I tend to turn things into songs. So, welcome back, everyone. We are so happy to be back. Just to let y'all know, our other mahogany lady, Stephanie, she's going to be back in April because March is her birthday month. So, we'll see her back next month, everyone. Yes. So, I know that everyone caught up on our first season, episodes 1 through 10, right? And we put out a nice little special bloopers and behind the scenes video. So hopefully y'all got a chance to check that out. And if you haven't, go on over to your favorite podcast platform and check it out, or go to our YouTube channel so you can see us. Okay. So tonight's episode is gonna be about our fears. What are you afraid of?
Yes.
But before we get into that, we're going to check in with the ladies because we haven't seen them in 2 weeks. Hey, ladies.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? Tell me all about your
good.
break.
Rested. We were resting.
I did some stuff.
Oh, you did some stuff.
I got a chance to go to Sprouts. Oh,
Oh, okay. Look at you.
I had the apple cider bundt cake.
Oh, I'm going to have to get that.
Apple cider bundt
I
cake.
had it the
Okay.
first week, and then I went back to get some more. Just 2 days, 1 or 2 days later, and me and a young girl, we tore up the store looking for it. That is the most moist, tasty.
Wow.
Oh, full of flavor. It is
There
good.
you go,
Anything with apple and cinnamon in it, I'm down. That's it.
Oh,
But
my
it
goodness.
was so good. And I went into Tuesday morning.
What? Okay, you stepping out, Cynthia.
Yes. Sarah and I got to walk around, and I was like, "Oh, wait. See, I'm gonna spend a whole lot of money. Let's just go back into Sprouts and do what we're gonna do."
Yeah, well, good for you stepping out and doing some of your self-care, experiencing new things.
Yes. And I went to the H Mart, the Korean market, and I ran into Coach what's
Parrish.
Coach Parrish.
Oh my gosh.
She looks
How is she?
exactly the same. I said, Coach. And I said, she said, Cindy. And I'm like, yeah. We were in that market.
Goodness.
We were in the market for a few hours. It
Oh
was
my
so-
goodness.
It was so funny. She was like, you had me buying everything in the store.
Oh my
So,
God. I haven't seen
but-
her in forever.
She looks exactly the same.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
The same high spirit. And it was like, wow. Yeah, that was so right there, she was a genuine person. So it was
Right,
like,
exactly.
wow. But it was good seeing her. So
Oh, that's good. Anybody else do anything fun, exciting, new?
different.
Because
room.
Zeth and that pretty smile. Go ahead, Zeth.
Or y'all just relax?
I
Like
rested.
I tried to relax.
I
know,
rested.
That was hard.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's the week that I'm rushing around doing everything. Oh my God, I gotta get it together. I was relaxing too hard. But I mean, it was a
Probably
nice
well
little break.
needed. Mhm.
Yes, it was. Yeah, well needed. But yeah. But I'm glad y'all enjoyed y'all little break. So now we got 10 episodes to go before our next, well, actually, we're gonna be off for Easter, so that's like one little week. But for our big break, we got 10 episodes to go for our next break. But yeah, well, I'm glad. Yeah, like I said, I'm glad everybody enjoyed their break. So guess what? It's about
Wow.
that time
What
for
time
my
is it?
favorite part of the episode, which is
Look at Joe. Go,
The
Joe.
hump day stress reliever.
yes. Come on, Cynthia. Let's see what you got.
All right. Now y'all know I'm not on Steph, and on Steph likes to do this part. But hello and welcome back, MVP listeners. Sit back, stand up, do whatever it is, because it is time for us to get in some groups. 1 minute, remember that gift. 1 minute, set your mind, your body free. Do whatever it is you do at this time. So
Yes.
let's listen to a minute of some grooves. See what you think.
Mm.
She said.
That was a break.
That was a little person. Okay, roll your shoulders, everybody.
Yeah.
Check it out. What?
Feel like we're about to do some
Ooh,
thing called
roll them back. Roll them back.
aerobics.
Ooh.
Rock it out.
Reach.
Right.
Reach. Upside. 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 Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Not ooh.
Oh. All right.
All right. Well,
Yes.
thank you, Cynthia, for that.
Good job.
Welcome.
Got your little aerobics on.
Yes, workout. You said I had on my workout clothes.
So
Yeah.
that's what they called it back in the day, aerobics.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, thank you for that little 1 minute. And to our new
You
listeners,
are
so the
welcome.
hump day stress reliever is our gift to you because we get so busy and we just don't take time for ourselves. So at least we can do is give you 1 minute just for you to do what you want to do. Sit, meditate, think about things, groove in your seat or wherever you at. Like I said, yell while you driving down the street out the window. I don't know. Whatever
Yes.
is going to release some stress from you in that 1 minute. It's for you. Okay. So
Workout.
yeah. So now we're going to move on over to let the voices speak for themselves. And the I know every time I say that, I think about that. It should be echoing. And our co-host today is Cynthia. So she's gonna take over right now. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Cynthia.
Okay, so our
Yes.
our topic for this week is fears. What are you really afraid of?
That's a lot of
and
levels to that.
yes, so
Yes,
many.
girl.
When I think about the topic, I think about like movies, but am I really afraid of those movies? No, I'm not really. But it's
am.
just the suspense that builds up, you know, and then just when it happens, you're like, whoa, and then you're like, whoo, okay, and then you laugh it off. But
I'm
I
scared.
do.
I'm scared of hard pictures.
I'm not. I love horror pictures. I
Not
love
me.
horror
I'm not
pictures.
doing it. I'll be
So
all
I mean,
night.
and we were in here talking yesterday, Jasmine and her husband James. We were talking about the COVID being the zombie apocalypse.
Ooh,
And they
Wow.
were
that's
saying,
real.
yeah, we're gonna go and buy a sword because guns jam and stuff like that. So,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, if you cut off the head, then
Then it's
Wow.
over.
get rid of it.
Okay, they really getting ready.
But just even thinking about our current situation with COVID, to have people's fears like on a high,
Mhm.
so much to the point where they don't want to go back out there into that without a mask. And our illustrious mayor's like, we're gonna stay the same. So, he's not ready to ease up off of these restrictions because he know the fear that people have. So, my biggest fear is, getting it and then bringing it back home. Right now, that's one of my biggest fears because, having already lose someone to this, it's like I could possibly do something like that,
Right,
bring it home and then, not on purpose, but
right,
by mistake, give it to someone and lose them. So
right.
right now, that's my biggest fear. But everybody's fear is different. Some people like, oh, I ain't want to wear the mask anyway. All right, but
Mm.
Tracy, with you working in the healthcare field, how are you dealing with? Is that a fear for you, or you have a different kind of fear?
Well, I have a different fear. I hadn't even thought in terms of COVID. I mean, I agree with staying the course, of course. Vigilant about wearing your mask, hand washing. I
Mm-hmm.
come in from work, like all of my coworkers, mostly everybody undress at the door somewhere outside your house, and just taking the precautions that you're supposed to. All you can do is your very best. But I
Right.
don't believe that you should live in fear because you become
Mm-hmm.
stagnant, you
Mm-hmm.
become careless, and you stop living, you stop breathing. And to me, that's when you open yourself up to be attacked by so many different things.
Mm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
will wear my mask. I will go out in public. I will still continue to live, but I will be smart about the things that I do to keep myself and my family safe.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of my fear is of all of a sudden I got a fear of heights, but I'm still gonna get on a plane.
Really?
But I used to ride a roller coaster, right? And be okay with that thing. But I cannot get on a roller coaster because the fear. I'm like, all of a sudden, let me tell y'all one time. I went to Las Vegas with some friends and I
Ooh.
talked them into getting
Ooh.
on that thing that you lie down and do the.
Oh.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh, I got halfway to the top and I couldn't move. I got paralyzed with fear. And I
Wow.
had a panic attack, which I had never had before about any
Wow.
height. I had to be talked on this thing, close my eyes, clenched pitches all the way across with my eyes closed. And this came out of like nowhere until that day about 5 years ago. I had to
Wow.
think about fear. I am going to get on a plane. Don't worry. I get on the plane
Mm.
because I'm inside, but out of nowhere, the fear heights came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
But you said all of a sudden because you didn't have that fear
I
all the
never had
time.
that fear. I cannot get on a roller coaster. Anything with heights, even going upstairs now, I'm looking like, what? Out of nowhere. I don't know where
Mm.
that came
Hmm.
from.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, I
Wow.
do it because I believe in doing things afraid. If you're afraid, do it anyway
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to limit what you need to do. But I don't know where that fear came from. Like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. So
And
that's become a fear of mine.
I think a lot of people have that little small piece of that fear because when I go to White Marsh Mall and once I get to the top of the escalators, it's just like really
The
scary. It's like
escalator.
really scary to look
Right.
down at the other level, and it's like, eh,
You
what
gotta
if I?
step back, a little
You
apprehension.
start thinking about all the things that happen. What if I drop my phone? What if I, fall over? You know,
I
good God.
understand.
So it kind of makes you back up a little bit. So I get that one. I get
Hmm.
that one.
Talking
What
about escalators, I remember this was years ago. We were at I don't even know what mall we were at, but it was a little boy and we were, you know how you just
mm,
people watch. So
Hmm.
you watching the escalator go up and down. It was
That's
a
my
little
favorite
boy
thing.
playing at the bottom of the escalator and happened to get into where the controls were at and
Mm.
stop the escalator, and we saw people falling
Oh
Oh,
my
because it stopped
God.
abruptly.
Wow. Wow.
and
How
it
the
was
heck did he
like
get in that thing?
it was like a little box and right
Yeah,
at the
right on the
bottom.
side.
It is.
Yeah.
Right there.
And
Wow.
somebody
I
wasn't
would have
watching
never known
him.
that. Mhm.
And I mean, just to see, it was like an out of body experience to see these
Mhm.
people fall. It was just like, so it for a while after that, whenever I had to get on the escalator, I made sure looked to see if somebody was down at the bottom,
Little bad
and
kids at the bottom of
and
the
I walked
escalator.
down the escalator. Like I wasn't
Mhm.
taking no chances of, just
Wow.
casually riding down it,
Yeah.
But that
Enjoying the
was,
ride.
yeah, that was scary to watch. And then it was a
Oh,
little bit of fear of escalators after that, because
yeah.
of that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes when we see something happen, it automatically
Right.
Mhm.
brings into mind something that could possibly happen. So you get a little
Exactly.
fear from this or that. What about you, Zeph? You got any fears?
Fear of heights. I don't like to be up really high.
Oh,
Mm,
Yeah, I
okay.
don't like that. I don't
mm.
like the sensation. I don't like the motion of it. Yeah. So I never roll roller coasters or do all that. I don't mind flying,
Oh.
but I don't want to be up high.
Now
Mm-mm.
I'll tell y'all something about my fear of heights though. I do want to fly a plane. Believe it or
Oh,
not, I
okay.
do. I do want to fly a plane. I love the part of going up in the air and
Ooh,
everything.
that's the best part.
That's the best part. That's what I tell people. I want to be the person
Yes.
that shoot the thing back and pull us up.
Oh my
So I do
God.
want to take flying lessons, believe it or not. So I don't know where the whole
Nice.
height
Wow.
thing came from. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
used to
took
be afraid of flights, though. I mean, of height.
really?
I used to be afraid, didn't want to drive over bridges and things of that
Mm.
nature.
Oh.
And it's like you get out of it. I'm still a little fearful of the bridges. I kind of like scoot down in my
Mm.
seat when I'm driving. I just stay real
Mm.
focused. I look straight. I don't look to the side, and I just drive
Yeah, I
straight.
used to do that.
But outside of that, getting on the plane, I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
I tested myself about it's been 6 years now. When I went to Vegas, I literally zip line across the old
Ooh,
Vegas.
okay.
That's the
Right.
one that
Yes.
scared my pants off. That's
Yeah.
the one, Joe. That's the one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that
I let my girlfriends and them talk me into it. They was like, "Come on!" I
Oh,
stayed
okay.
pumped the whole time. And this
Uh-huh.
guy was in front of us, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do it." But when he got up there, he was like, "No, that's all right." I was like, "You might as well stay here. You in front now. You're gonna have to go." But when I got up there, and I was like, "I'm getting ready to conquer this," and the guy was like, "When you hold your hands out in front of you, you're gonna go faster. When you hold it out to the side, it slows you down." And I
Oh.
felt like I was the plane myself. I mean, I was like, I really enjoyed it, but I still have just a little bit of fear of that. But outside of that,
I wonder
the
is that
height
like
is
fear
it's
of
not a problem.
height has something to do with fear of not being in control,
Mm.
being able to
Mm.
control
good.
that situation.
Mm.
Well, I know I rode in a small passenger plane. I mean, really small. It was a room for a pilot, a co-pilot, and one person in the back. So it was
Mm,
it
how
was
was that?
that was the worst feeling because you
You
could
can
feel
feel
it.
everything.
Feel everything.
Really?
And I was holding on to the sides like this. It was the worst feeling in the world.
Cynthia,
But
I
it
know.
didn't stop me from flying. It stopped me from flying in something that small.
Oh, right.
Right.
So
Do you
because in
think
the
you would feel better if
airplane,
you were driving it? If it was
no,
you? Uh,
She want to drive a plane. She want to fly
no,
it.
fly a
no,
plane.
because
I'm just
everybody had to have their turn as the co-pilot, and even
Mhm.
still as the co-pilot, I was like, it was like, ooh. and no one said, "Don't eat before you get in this small passenger plane."
Oh
Ooh.
wow.
Oh,
I had just eaten, and it just kept dipping.
Oh.
Oh,
So
girl.
it's like
oh,
I had to lay
Mm.
down. I had to lay down for the rest
Ooh.
of the day. My
I
stomach
know.
was
I
just.
guess so. Because you couldn't lay
Mm.
down in that plane.
Yeah,
But
Wasn't no
don't
I
room.
think
like that.
that
I
I
don't like
think
that
that
feeling.
I think that a lot of our fears come from like things that we watch too in movies.
Mhm, mhm.
Because my children know if I see you pull up to my house and I got time to get behind the door, I'm gonna get behind the door and I'm gonna jump out and scare you. But that's just my house. But
Okay.
they're like, "Mom, I'll get you," but because I know they're gonna do me too. So I think they fear coming in my house sometimes because they don't know where I'm going to be because I'm just going to jump out on them.
Mhm.
Now the babies, I don't do the babies, but I guarantee you when they get older, I'm gonna get them.
You took hide and seek to the next level.
Yeah, we take that personally. We take that personally. So we
I
jump
have
out.
another fear, and I never really never really even considered a fear to recently, um, with all the deaths that have been taking place, and whether it's COVID or heart attacks or whatever the case may be, for the past, I'll just leave it to the past year, really, and looking at the news and internalizing some things, and my fear, and I don't really, yeah, it is a fear, I guess, because I just went to a funeral of a friend of mine. I have a fear because I felt this way about them. Um, I don't want to die alone.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow.
I, I I I can't imagine how he felt. I'm sorry, that's a little
Take your
emotional.
It's
time.
okay. It's okay.
Hey, take your time. Take your time.
It's okay, Joanne.
I can't imagine how he felt when he got up that morning and feeling as though he had the whole day. And then all he did is went to the gas station to get gas. And he never came from the gas station because his heart stopped.
Mm.
To be there by yourself, nobody know you. I can't imagine. And the same thing with people that's left in the hospital right now that can have no visitors. I can't imagine a person that's used to being around people and having such a life to have to die alone.
Right.
Yeah.
That is such a fear that I don't think a lot of us have ever even thought about. And so many of us have burnt bridges and have vices and have disagreements with people, and we could be gone tomorrow,
Mhm.
and nobody could be there with us. I can't imagine that. I just can't.
Oh, Cynthia, we can't hear you.
Oh,
Oh, now
can you
we
hear me
can.
now?
Mhm.
That's really something serious, and I think that deep down inside, we all have that kind of fear.
Mhm.
Always being around certain people all the time, and just in a blink of an eye. And like you said, these people who are in the hospital alone, and that makes me think about my mother-in-law. Um, and I didn't even get to see her, but just listening to her on the phone, um, not wanting to go to the hospital, just listening to how she sounded. And the thing is, it's like, had I known that this was going to happen, and that's the main thing we say, had I known, and that's the worst thing. And I just felt bad each and every day knowing that um, by the time she got to the end, she was completely alone, not even knowing if she was even on the earth because she was unconscious. Um, and just looking at her sons and how um, they are always there for their mother. And this
Mhm.
was the one time that they couldn't be. And I know, just looking at my husband, he was just, although he wants to be big and statuesque and strong or
Right, right.
whatever, I could see the fear in his eyes that, you know, he was just already saying, I don't think my mother's going to come back.
Wow.
So, I mean, I knew he had that natural fear because he was just used to his mother. And even since then, when she passes, I jump when my house phone rings because she was the only one calling my house phone. And it just, throws something through me and makes me just think back to, um, who used to call me every morning without
Mhm.
fail, making
Mm.
sure making sure I'm up, making sure Sarah's up, just to know that this woman was always surrounded by her sons, that in that moment she was
Wow.
alone. So I totally get it, Joanne. And my kids are always around me, and I don't know what I would do if I was alone when that time came. So I totally get it. That's a natural fear that I think all of us have.
Yeah.
I also feel like how would I react if my children left before me?
Yeah.
So scared of that, and I know people have gone through that, but I am definitely afraid of them passing before me, because I don't know what kind of state I would be in. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough
that's a
one.
hard one.
I used to have these dreams when I would say younger, but I mean not like a kid. I mean as a younger adult. Like every now and then I would have this dream of me being dead, but then I will wake up. I will wake up in my dream and wake up in real life, like wake up. And what I felt was that I'm not done yet on earth. Like I'm not finished. I haven't finished what I was supposed to be here for. And I guess it started to feel like a fear that I wasn't going to be able to finish what my, you know, purpose was to be here, you know. Every now and then I haven't had that dream in years, but every now and then I think about that. I think about um not being able to do all the things that I want to do, you know. I mean, I have like a list of things that I want to do, you know, and just thinking about, not being able to do those things. And a lot of them are like business things, philanthropy. It's those type of things that I want to do that I feel like you know, it's kind of a fear that, I may not get to do all those things that I want to do. Just, looking at how the world is, and it's just, you know, but I mean, I'm like Tracy. I'm like, I steady push through my fears. I'm like facing them head on and
Okay.
keep moving. I just try to keep moving my feet, just to get through. Because you know how sometimes people say they have a fear of speaking in public. And when they see people that can speak in public, they think they don't get nervous. It's like I get nervous, I get nervous, but to me it's like an adrenaline rush. That adrenaline pushed me through those nerves and get it done. But yeah, I feel nervous speaking in public too. But yeah, I fears I think fears, they serve their purpose. Um but it's all in how you look at it, you know,
Yeah.
uh how you interpret the fear and fears in itself, if you look at fears, well, let me take that back. Because when it comes to horror pictures, I ain't watching no horror pictures. I have the
I'll watch it and
worst.
tell you about it.
I have the worst. Look, I got enough people in my family to tell me about scary pictures. I have the worst. Like, I am very. It's not that I'm paranoid, but I am very aware of my surroundings. So I'm always watching. I'm always. So it's like, oh my God, I just can't take it. I don't know whether it's because my sister used to turn off all the lights when we were younger and make us watch scary movies with her. But I guess that's really what it is, because that's what I always go back to. I remember her turning off all the lights and making us watch scary movies with her. And I just don't like it. I mean, I just don't. I can't do scary movies.
I think
But outside of that fear, I can push through everything else.
you
I
fear the
think scary
dark.
movies.
You fear the dark side. That's
yes, I'm
you fear the
scared.
dark side. In a way, I think as long as it doesn't cause me any harm, then I'm okay. So
See, now I
Okay.
can't watch the horror movies because they come with me because I'm so visual.
Yes.
They're coming with me at night. I gotta dream about them. I gotta interact with them.
Yes, Tracy. Yes.
It's exhausting. I'm like, just stay there in the land of the, let me sleep peacefully. I don't need you to be my dream bigger and badder than he was on TV.
Yes.
well, I know that, when I do watch a scary movie, I am not going to sleep with my television off. I'm not, because I don't like sounds. I don't like night sounds. So, I love the scary movies, but I'm if I have to, after watching it, I got to go outside to the truck.
See?
I hear.
That's
and
what
we
I'm saying.
have a-
Everything
we
is
have-
amplified.
We
sound.
have a
Yes.
lot. We have a lot of rabbits around here. So at night,
Oh.
some things get the rustling and the
Ooh.
leaves. What was that? So, but I was thinking about what you said, Tish, when you said when you dream, and your dream is about you not finishing something that your purpose or whatever. When you wake up from that dream, like when your day gets started, do you feel like you want to hurry up and do something?
Yep,
to make you
exactly.
go faster.
Yep, I start
Yeah.
writing stuff down. It's like I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Like I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. I just that feeling of not completing what I want to do, and I just feel like certain things is my purpose, and I want to make sure I get that stuff done.
Right.
So
I think that's a lot of go-getters. That's their signage, so to speak, is that you see a person that's constantly going or constantly investing in themselves and doing this and doing that. The risk takers, I should say, because that's just my mindset that they're the dreamers. I'm a dreamer, and I know when I dream, I want it. And so it's like I really want to see it manifest, and I need to see it evolve. So if I'm the one that's supposed to lay the foundation for it to blossom, then I want to do it. I want to plant the seed so I can see it and move on to the next. But I gotta get it started. It's something when you don't. When you don't begin to start knitting it together some kind of way, you feel like you failed yourself.
Right.
And that's the
true.
biggest fear in the world, is to know that you failed yourself. And when you sit back, you're like, heck, I'm a failure. And some people beat themselves up so bad, feeling as though I haven't accomplished this or I haven't made anything out of my life. And that takes you back to a stigma where people want to label you.
Right.
And so, that's a fear all by itself. I've just given you the right to label me because you said it. But you gotta, that should be your momentum to go and accomplish it. Like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna make you look at me and be like, it's like.
I told my children all the negative things that people say to you or have said to you. You use that to ignite you, to drive you. Use that as fuel to go get it.
Right.
To go get what it is you're supposed to have. Like you said, nobody has the right to label you.
Right.
And more than likely they've already labeled themselves and they're just projecting. But I'm like, all those negative things, you take those things and let those things drive you. One step's going to lead to the next, and do it afraid. I mean, I got that from Joyce Myers, and it was one of the best things I've ever heard. Do it afraid. You're afraid, so what? Do it anyway.
Exactly.
Just do it anyway.
J. Blige said it. Hate on me, haters. Mickey Wyman sent me a shirt said, I love my haters because they make me greater. I was like,
that's right.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think my children put some fears in me too, like as far as their lives are concerned. Like,
girl, yes, yes.
When Chad said
children fears.
When my oldest Chad, he was like, I'm not gonna work at Valvoline no more. And I'm like, oh my God, what is he gonna do? He said, this guy, he's interested in me, and he says that I'm gonna go far. I'm gonna just do it. I'm like, oh my God, how you gonna pay his rent? So those natural fears, like, something? Am I gonna have to? He gonna be borrowing from me? So
that's just being a mother.
Isn't that something? How you're afraid of them failing?
Yes,
you're worrying about you and their
right. And I keep forgetting that he's like a go-getter. he's gonna go after it no matter what. Right now, he's in Chicago. Um,
Wow.
the new job,
Mhm.
they wanted him and a few
He's gonna
others
do
to
good.
go take some, but he's just like that. And then when Trey, y'all know I talk about Trey, when he was in high school and he said, "I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that," I'm like, oh. He said, I'm gonna try out for a partner play. So that's like that right there. It's like none of them ever said that to me. What in the world? What in the world made him want to act? But then when I saw him on the stage, I was like, what's the next play?
I know that's
I
right.
had to
Wow.
actually get over it. And I'm like, how's he gonna learn all those lines and blah blah blah? So all of them when they do certain things when they're our kids, it's like, here we go again.
Girl, whew. I thought it would stop once they became an adult, but it
No.
don't. It don't stop.
Chad is 30
Whew.
something. And I was like, oh my God, no, don't change.
Yeah.
Every time.
I stay the same. That's just me.
The
But I
safest
keep
thing. It's
forgetting.
safe. Makes me
I
feel better.
and that's it right there. Do
Mhm.
the safe thing.
Do the safe
But
thing.
but I have to like conquer that fear by saying they're adults. They're grown adults, and they're gonna make their decisions, whether it'll be a pass or fail, um,
Right.
fall down, get back up kind of thing.
Mhm.
So having and Joanne, you always talk about your god kids, and I'm like, dang, they do this and they do that. And I know you probably done had some of them fears too. Like, what is she up to now? Now she's gonna bake cakes. Is it gonna taste good? So
You know what? I
at different
pushed them.
stages.
Yeah, I
Oh, that's
push
good.
them because the biggest thing, like I said, is for them to fear that they aren't enough. I never wanted my godchildren to feel that, even if their parents, how parents may say this or say that out of anger. I never wanted my godchildren to internalize any of that when it came to their dreams. So when they
Mm-hmm.
shared their dreams, I was their greatest pusher.
There
I'm
you
always going
go.
to be their pusher to stand by them and push them into their destiny and to stay in their ear to brand it. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you can dream it, then you have to brand it because it was
Mm-hmm.
your idea. It was your
Mm-hmm.
idea, so it belongs to you. And I tell them if they get nothing else from Godmother, Godmother said, brand myself.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
I heard Tish, when I was talking to Tish, I think yesterday or today, and I heard her say, all right, be careful out there.
Oh yeah.
I could hear mother saying, oh, he's
That
going
fear.
outside,
Yes,
going
because
out,
it's
he went
like
outside.
this. I mean, as it that fear of having a black son just really
Mm-hmm.
has heightened since 2020, everything that has happened. It has
Yeah.
heightened. I'm always going to tell whoever that leaves my house to be careful, be safe.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I have found that kind of eases my mind, and I've always prayed for him. I pray for everyone. I pray
Mm-hmm.
for my immediate family, my extended family, my friends, and my enemies in that order.
Yeah.
Um, because I have to hand it over to my higher power, or I would go crazy. you
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah.
I would go crazy worrying about him and everything, because I know what type of man he is. I was going to say
Mhm.
child.
Man child.
Yeah, I
My
know what
child.
type of man child he is. And it is sometimes scary because
Mhm.
I know he's very kind. Like he
Mhm.
didn't
Yeah.
have the upbringing that we had where,
Mm-hmm.
you know, times are just different,
Yes, they
Yeah.
so
are.
it's
And
like,
isn't it horrible that you have to be afraid for a kind man?
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And when you
Yes.
But I
said
do
that,
know what
I
you're
thought
saying.
about
Yes.
when you said he's kind of I thought about Zori and then watching Zori do his camera thing and I was like,
Yeah.
he's so nice and
Hmm.
so kind and I know Zeph
Gentle
you probably
spirit.
have like the same fear with Tish because he's so kind and you don't want anybody to take advantage of him,
Exactly.
that you probably have like words of wisdom that you put in his ear every day that he goes out there to do his thing. And then
Yeah.
with your daughter and school, with
Mm.
college, that's another fear right there.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. You just put into them and put into them what you want them to give to other people and make them wise. And I'm aware. You just
Aware,
have to be
right?
aware of the society
Mhm.
that we live in.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's an awful thing when you try to make sure that your son is raised to be a decent human being,
Right.
a good
Absolutely.
man, a kind man, a God fearing man, if that's what you choose, and then he still needs to be protected from all the other inhumane people or things that try to attack his personhood because of
Right.
just who he is or who he displays. And because if
Right.
he's not walking around slinging guns or calling women out their names and he's
Right.
respectful and stuff, then he's looked at as maybe not as hard as the next man. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
that's a horrible place that we
Right.
find ourselves in. But prayer works.
Right. Absolutely. And taking it back to when we were talking about COVID. I mean, that has I was very fearful in the beginning because it was a lot of unknowns. Like it was just so much not known about this virus. I do have asthma, so I am extra. Like I am like
You
really
should
like
be
a little
very
anal
mindful.
about this thing.
Hmm.
But what it has done, and this is how sometimes you have to use your fear, because I know that I cannot, from the career path that I'm on, I can't have a mask on for an hour during a service because I'm physical with what I'm doing. Massaging. I can't have a mask on for an hour giving a massage. I just can't do it. So what it has done is make me be creative in what type of business I'm gonna have to have going forward
Right.
when I get back out there. So it's funny because that was an idea that I already had
Wow.
before COVID happened. And the fact that this is what I have to do now going forward, it's just like, wow, it's just crazy how it everything lined up that way.
Hmm.
And I mean, I got my notebook where I was trying to figure out the name of the business and everything well before COVID.
Yeah,
Wow.
intuition.
It's
Wow.
crazy. It's just so
Intuition.
crazy.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to getting back out there, but it's gonna be exactly on my terms and how
And it
I
should
am
be.
going to create the space that I'm gonna create.
Hmm.
But
The safest thing.
I could have let that fear just really make me crumble and like, okay, well, I ain't gonna do this no more. I'm gonna go do something.
Right.
But you just gotta use that fear and just
Get
take it by the
creative.
horns
Yes.
and just handle it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what
Yeah.
else? There is some positive fears.
Mm,
There are.
like a what?
Like and it is some positive fears. And,
Yeah,
and
there
I
are
thinking
positive
about
fears.
um Dr. Martin Luther King, he said, fear is mastered through love. So there is a positive fear
Mm.
out there. What were you thinking about, Joanne? Go ahead.
Along the same line, but even sometimes we need to be fearful of falling into the traps that other people have
Ooh,
set for us.
yeah, that's true.
So you have to be so very open to
That's
understand who you
true.
are
Goodness
and the
gracious.
decisions and choices that we have.
Hmm.
Not to be so
That is
gullible
true.
or
Mm.
so timid that you allow a person to pressure you in to doing what they want, whereas though be fearful of it, and not just say be their scapegoat, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Mm,
You have to be,
right.
sometimes it's good to be fearful.
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
I fear I fear being around people that have absolutely no remorse for life.
Oh, yes.
Gracious. Mm.
So they have no remorse or respect for life, so they would not care what happens to you.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Because they
Absolutely.
don't fear for themselves. Why would they fear for you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
all.
And sometimes it takes them to have that wake up call when they should have been fearful.
Mm.
That's
And
true.
that's
They
something.
should have been fearful.
Well,
But
along that line, Joanne, I have a fear for our younger generation who
Mm.
seems to have no um, base, no
Foundation.
foundation.
Yeah.
Mm.
They have no fear of anything. They're not
Mm.
afraid to
Yeah.
cuss in front of a church, cuss in front of an adult.
Mm.
They're not afraid to cuss you out. They're not afraid to step out. And sometimes it's good that they speak up for themselves, but some of them, they have no foundation. And I was saying to my daughter one day, we were talking about different religions or different paths that people choose to take. And I said, well, whatever you do, you teach them what you were taught first. That's just my opinion, to give them a foundation. And then if they decide to go a different way, at least if one day if they're falling, they have something to hold on to. Even if you teach them the simplest prayer. Again, it's my own truth. The
Mhm.
God is grace, God is good, God, we thank you for this food. Amen. They know nothing else. Who to call on, it or whoever their higher power is. They have no foundation. So our children are falling. They have nothing to hold on to, nothing to grab. They call it mommy. Mommy's not there. Daddy's not there. Grandma's
Mm.
not there. They have nothing to hold on to or anything to catch them. So my biggest fear is for our children who don't have a foundation, and that's probably one of my life paths, to just get them and
Right.
teach them and help them to create their own place,
Right. That's what I
giving
was
them a
telling
foundation.
Joanne, what, last week, about the fact that they don't have any support
Hmm.
anywhere,
Right,
whether
right.
it's in school, fully, or at home, or if they have support in school, once they get home, there's no support. So it's
Nothing.
like
Absolutely.
they need support all
Nothing.
around,
Or just any support. Just
any
they need
support,
Any.
something. Like
exactly,
Cynthia, I know
any
you were
support.
saying how your children and some of my other educator friends who say some of the children in all grade levels have never logged on through the entire
Never.
pandemic. Their
I,
parents have not picked up
What?
their
yeah.
computers
This
and they
is
have
this
never logged
is
on.
this is
All
wow.
ages.
tomorrow will officially be the middle of March, and I still have 4 that have never logged on.
Never.
Mm.
Wow.
And how old are they?
I can't hear you,
Oh,
Cynthia.
wait a minute.
Oh,
This is how about now?
Yes.
yeah. You said she
Okay.
said how old are they? We couldn't hear you when you said it.
It's they're third graders,
Oh.
So what are
and
those
Wow.
children doing? What's happening to them? Are they okay? Not that you
Jesus.
had the answers, but those are some of the questions.
well,
Like,
I think it's
Jesus.
it's not a lot that you can do because this
right.
is a parent decision. This is
Mhm.
what they decided not to be found. But we do have a team at our school that have been trying diligently to get to these houses, and when
Mhm.
the addresses are not correct in the system, what can you
Mhm.
do?
Right.
Mm.
So, we have made countless calls and visits to what we
Wow.
thought were the homes, and
Mhm.
you can't do anything about it. So, and even in talking to some parents who just like recently logged their kids in, automatically they're saying, yeah, I wanted my child to be held back anyway. That's not a
Wow.
reason. It's not a reason for you to not log these kids in because you wanted them to be held back. But I mean,
Excuse.
that's what the parents'
That's
decisions
the
are.
Mm.
excuse.
These kids are babies to
Right.
me. They're in
Right.
Yeah,
elementary school. They still need somebody to guide them.
absolutely.
You
Right.
still
Well, I,
have
Example to
to.
set a poor
Mhm.
example.
well, I guess
It's
at
so
that
well
thing too,
said.
because then some of those parents don't know how to log on, cannot read. I mean, there's so many other things that could be taking
Hmm.
place there too. They don't know how to help.
Oof.
And
I mean, there are a lot of illiterate adults that really
Oh,
fake
absolutely.
it because
Absolutely.
coming into the
and
hospital, they can name so
yeah,
many things, so many diagnoses, and you ask them to read something and they cannot. They
Hmm.
Mm.
cannot read. They will sign whatever
Very.
you tell them. They
Wow.
cannot read. And I mean, that also goes all ages. I'm gonna give some of my seniors 70 up. I'm gonna give them a pass. But when I got a 22-year-old or a 30
mm,
something year old who cannot read,
Yeah.
Wow.
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and Zethra, you're like in the administration part, so you
yes.
probably see a whole lot more than what we see as far as um the children that are not logging on, and is it a fear of um not knowing what to do and how to do it, or I mean, are your parents reaching out, or do y'all
Oh
stay
yeah,
home straight?
like I think at most schools you have a team of people to reach out to the students that don't log on or have logged on that don't log on consistently, and we
Mm-hmm.
just do our best to try to reach out to the parents. And a lot of it, the students have anxiety. The parents don't know what they're doing, and people forget that a lot of students still don't have a stable home base,
Right.
so and they don't have Wi-Fi. So it's a lot of things they have to deal
Mhm.
with that I believe that we could do a better job of doing with online learning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it, and it's I don't agree with them. Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay. And I don't agree with them putting the blame in just one place. It,
Oh
it is
no.
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
it's
Oh,
a
right.
team effort.
Absolutely.
And if
Mm.
I think if we are able to like meet the parents where they are, and a lot of times some schools have this thing, well, you should know how, but some of them don't. And if they don't take the time to meet the parents where they are, we could be cooking up all kinds of excuses as to why the child or the children aren't doing or not getting on or whatever.
Right.
But just trying to, and I, in reaching one of my parents, knowing that, oh, I didn't know you were homeless, so it's like
Exactly.
you have to take the time to learn the parents too, know your
Mhm.
families, and knowing that these parents, they do have these big old fears about not knowing how to do it, and looking at themselves as a failure,
Absolutely.
like somebody said,
Mhm.
just saying I can't let anybody know that I don't know how to do
I
this. They're gonna
yeah.
think that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dumb and stupid and don't know how.
Mhm.
But some of them have those fears that I can't let anybody find out that I
Right.
just don't know how. And it could be a case where the parents don't even know how to read it themselves to
Right,
help them with
Mm-hmm.
it.
exactly. Because I'm that math now.
So
The math,
yeah,
that math y'all teaching now. I don't know who.
I love that math though.
Mhm, mhm.
I love that math.
I'm
And I
still
tell the
crossing up.
I have parents sitting there like, I mean, and they, oh, go ahead. I just want to listen to how you, so they, some parents are like, giving their kids high five. I got it, you know. So, these parents, they have a fear of this technology. They never had to do this, and no one wants to look like a failure in front of their own children.
Absolutely.
Oh, you don't need to go there. So
Mm.
so they'll create a reason not to do it.
That's
Right.
that fear. That's that
Yeah.
fear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Fear,
I
fear can be paralyzing.
fear,
It's
yeah,
paralyzing.
fear
It
of
is.
not wanting to show people that you don't know something.
Mhm.
Right.
Keep people illiterate or
Exactly.
ignorant about things. And
It's
I
a
mean, it's
cycle.
horrible.
Absolutely.
I mean, I
Yeah.
see it so much. Like when I was working at Toyota, like how could you have signed this contract and
And
didn't
not
read
right.
it?
Mm.
But instead of saying, "Can you explain this to me?" Because I don't understand. People don't want to look like they
Mhm.
don't have it together,
Right.
and it
Mm.
just. But it's the fear
Mm.
that's
Hmm.
stopping them from, you know. But yeah. Mm,
Fear
mm-mm.
can be very paralyzing from education even to relationships,
Oh yes,
Ah,
everything. Fear.
yes, yes.
But I did have a conversation with a friend of mine, and we just so happened to have this conversation on yesterday. He was saying his biggest fear would be to not be able to take care of his family. Because I asked him, "Do you cry about
Mm,
anything?" He said, "Oh, I would never cry." I said, "Well, what would you cry about?" He said, "Not being able to make money to take care of my
Mm.
family." So that
wow.
was his
mm,
biggest fear, is
yeah.
not being able to take care of his family.
Probably because he was taught to be
That
a
is,
provider.
he's
Mm-hmm.
been taught to be a
Yeah,
provider.
to be a provider for his family.
He said, if I can't take care of my family, then he said that then I am nothing. And
Mm.
Mm.
he's 60 something, 660. I guess he's
Ow.
6'7". Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess it
Mm,
also depends on how you were raised, what you were taught,
yeah.
you know.
And
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
major.
it
That's major.
is because, you know, we really have to look at what we're teaching people, our kids or whatever, because if that is what he got out of being taught to be a provider, if I can't, I'm nothing.
Wow.
There's no in
But you think
between.
there was no in between. You thought something like
Wow.
we were taught to grow up, get married, get your husband, take care of your family, and they were taught to grow up, get
Right.
a
Well,
job, and provide
right.
for your family. So that was
Mm,
the
right.
tree we had. That was the
Right.
structure, you know.
Right. So I'm just
So
saying, like,
it's
we got to start, looking at how we
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
relate information or teach, that there is
key.
always an in between. It
Mm-hmm.
can't
It's
be a
not black
this
or white.
or that,
Right.
It's a
because
takeaway,
when it
but
gets
there's
to that, people don't want to live sometimes,
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
that's why they leave.
Oh,
yeah.
That's why some of the men have left their homes. They weren't able to take care of their family. So it was easier to
mm,
take care of them just themselves.
right.
Mhm.
Wow.
Or we get to the whole thing where social service won't help a family, but they'll help a single mother. You know,
Oh,
that whole
oh,
right.
that's a
Wow.
whole nother
That's a,
topic.
I know, right?
You said
I
something
need
though,
to
Tish, with
write
the
that down.
you said something about
Mhm.
the teaching part, and it falls back to the conversation you and I had the other day. I called Tish, you all, and I talked to Tracy too. I was preparing for a sermon that I had to preach on Wednesday, and
Hey,
as
I
I was
offered to come help you. I was
taking
going to round us up. We was going to come and help you. I
I
said,
was
you know,
just
we'll hold Mahogany voices. We'll come and help you.
and to be so honest, that is such a fear of mine. I know it's God's gift to me, to deliver His word, to pray, but when I'm called to do it in front of people, that is a fear. I panic, I
Hmm.
fear, and I have it. I can sit here and say it to you, but when I have to put it on paper, it's a fight. And so
Hmm.
it's like I begin to hear, and so God allows me to speak to certain people. And so
Mhm.
I called, and I got some pointers from Tish, just asking a question, and just like you just made the statement about, if that's what the guy got out of being taught, or what they're when he, out of that being taught, then there's something's going wrong. But in my sermon preparation, and even when I preached it, when y'all get to hear it, it's something that you
Right.
take away from it. You understand what I'm saying? I've learned in my study and through the course of life that so often we're taught so much. We're taught constantly this and that and this and that. But we have to become learned. We have to have that takeaway. That takeaway is to become learned and make it applicable, making it applicable to who you are in the situation, the circumstance, because that makes it ongoing. If you just continue to be taught, then you're going to run into those fears because that is your wall. But when you
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
become learned and make it applicable, it makes it adjustable. It makes
Mm-hmm.
it like adhesive. Like I can take it off, I can put it on to make it work. And so that's what happened with our children. And we were children's too. But nowadays, like, this no child left behind thing, which we call it's all about what you want to control them with, which is a complete fear. That should be a
Mm.
fear for us as adults, fear as parents, fear as people, that this
Mhm.
is the stigma that they want to stick on the next generation, which is our future, should not be. But if we don't take a stance, then we all should be very fearful, that
Mhm.
we don't know what our children or our young adults will face because they're not prepared
Yeah.
to go out here into society and handle it as we know it. They haven't been
Mhm.
given the proper tools. They have not been taught where they can learn and become applicable adults to handle the situations life will throw at them. That is a fear that we're all going to face.
Wow.
Mhm. Those pressures. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And on that note, oh, thank you, Pastor Joe.
I know.
I,
I just
I,
say preach,
um,
teach. I love it.
on that note, and just thinking about fear, say that fear should be our light and not our darkness.
Mhm.
In thinking
Absolutely.
about what we do fear, um, how we have adjusted to these fears that we have, and even how we have conquered our fears should make us
Mm.
feel successful, strong,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
gorgeous, ready to take on anything. So, just for, anybody listening, just try to let your fear be your light, not your darkness, because the darkness will keep you
Amen.
hidden. It'll keep
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
So,
I like that, Cynthia. That was
Yeah.
well
Powerful.
said.
well,
Powerful.
ladies,
Can't
this
see
was
me.
our
Can't see
time.
me.
You know, it's like
Yes.
walking around with a bag on your head for the rest of your life.
Right. Yeah.
But we still see you.
Bag
You
or
You
just
can put it
not,
on all day, but we still
just
see
walking
you.
around
Right.
That's
there.
bag or
true.
not, bag or not, mask or not, you know.
We still see you.
Well, thank you, Cynthia.
You're quite
That was
welcome.
good. That was
Yes.
good.
Hey.
I did want to say real quick. I don't know if you remember, Zeph. My first ride, I think it was yours too. The first time we ever rode in a plane was when we was in high school and we got to go to
Wow,
that
that's South
school.
Carolina. Yep.
Yes.
South Carolina.
Oh,
That is for the
okay.
weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
Zeph and I had gotten chosen to go to this
Oh my
college for the
gosh,
weekend.
yes. Yeah.
And it
'Cause
was a
y'all were the
smaller
nerds.
plane because we
Plane. It
walked out
was.
on the tarmac.
You sure
Oh,
did.
Remember
You
that?
sure did. Yep.
Y'all so smart.
Wow.
I know.
That was a
Wow.
long time ago, but I was so
Oh,
excited
yeah.
our first plane ride.
Yep. It was exciting. Very.
Yes. But yeah, so thank you, ladies. That was a good conversation about,
Yes, let's have a
years.
conversation.
Yes.
What's good?
So we're
And
gonna
maybe we
move-
can come back to this and say if we've conquered any of our fears.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not gonna ride that I can't even fit in the roller coaster anymore. Look at them little teeny bars trying to hold me there.
Girl, they got the stand-up kind there.
Yeah.
That
But
lets
you know, roller
Thank
coasters are
you.
not the same because I
It
know the
can be.
last time we went to Six Flags, it was like it wasn't this painful because they yank you and your head is hitting this. And
The
hitting
only
that.
thing that's different is Cynthia, you older now.
I
So-
know. I must have
Boom,
been
shake it out.
soft.
Boom, boom, boom,
I must
boom,
have been
boom, boom,
soft
boom.
back then and could take all of these
Yes,
bangs,
girl.
but these bones don't like those bangs anymore.
I think the
But she's
last
trying to hold on. Until
Yes.
it hurt.
I
was
think
like
the last time I got on a roller coaster, I might have been in my late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Mm,
I had the worst headache when I got off.
I'm
And
just thinking
that
about
was
that headache.
that was it. But when I went to Las Vegas, I got on the roller coasters there and I was fine. I laughed the entire time the ride was going on. Oh my
Yes, I'm not
God.
gonna do that one either.
Yeah.
I'll fly y'all in the plane. Let me get this license.
Make sure it's a big plane because
It'll
I'm
be a
getting
big
in that
plane.
little one and I gotta hold on to
Yes.
the walls.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
ask Southwest, can I borrow one of their planes tickets up?
Yeah.
Let us know what it costs. We're gonna help.
It's gonna be
Right.
free.
Yes.
It's gonna be free.
Free. Oh, I'll take free.
All right, it's gonna be free.
All right. So we're gonna move on over to the voice of the community.
Mhm.
So, for our new listeners, this is where we will shout out any small businesses that try to, help support our little businesses, little people around. Especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, our small businesses really need our support. So, we're gonna shout out some businesses. Anybody got any businesses they want to shout out tonight?
Yeah. Shout them out. Shout 'em
I
out.
got one.
All right. What is that one?
So I just got this one. It's somebody that we all know.
Uh-oh.
And I was looking on Instagram and I was like, okay, I'm gonna shout him out because he always asks for support and everything. Haven't done a photo shoot with him yet though.
I know who this is.
But this is Andre Dunstan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a great photographer. Like he
really
is,
Yes.
moving right on up. I see his
Yes,
little
he is.
his articles that he be posting in magazines and
Wow.
Yes.
on
Nice.
set this place and that place. So y'all better
killing it.
get in there and get him in now before he gets
know.
too expensive.
Be an
But
arm
the-
and a leg.
Yes, but the name of his company is Epic Media Photography. And you can follow him on Instagram at the same name, Epic Media Photography. And he does amazing work. I just haven't got around to doing a photo shoot with him yet, but it's coming
right.
one day.
It's coming. We promise we're coming, Andre.
Yes.
We're gonna come together.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we need to.
Safely.
Right now we have Zori.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you, Zori.
Yeah, so that's all I have. Anybody else had anyone, or that was it?
I have a shout out.
Okay.
So yeah, I have been back to my workout since March 1st.
Yay.
Yes,
Um,
Joanne.
Right, Joanne. I need to join
And so
you.
I used to go to this young lady, and so I've started back up. Her name is Denier Hilton. Queen D is what
Oh, yes.
Body Work Fitness. Oh my gosh, I love her so very much. I mean, she makes working out so much fun because it's all about dancing. And it's not about it's about health, I should say. It's not about who's fat, who's skinny. She talks the talk and she walks the walk because she keeps women encouraged and men. Let me not just be prejudiced, because she is men and women that are in her class. And so the classes have resumed even during the pandemic. And you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram under Denier Hitting Queen D. Is what it is. Queen D at Bodywork Fitness. She's located on 7905 Hartford Road, the second floor. Our information, I will send it so it can be posted on our page. So that you can join her for whether you want to do a dance class workout or a cheer fit. And I am a witness. I thought cheer fit was nothing.
Girl.
Compared to just working out. Cheer fit will call your bluff. Work out sitting in the chair with weights. Oh no. It's more of a workout and a burn calories. And also she rents her studio out for parties, engagement, intimate dinners and everything. So really look her up. I mean, she's really doing some things and empowering Black women that's making a mark. So shout out to you, Queen D.
Well, the next time we record, I'll have one because my son sports this guy's clothing line, and he's been with him from the ground up. And when I get all of his information, he had the most amazing sweatsuit on today. I said, get me one of those. So, I mean, down to the socks, this guy, and he's a Black guy, an entrepreneur, started his own clothing line. So now he's at the point where he's picking and choosing the fabrics that he want from which company, and so I'm going to get all of his information before I shout him out.
Wear sweatsuits.
Yes, because
we like fashion.
I saw this. Hey, I said
we like fashion.
Right.
Might not have the socks on. I can put some heels on and help him out though.
Yeah, so I want to get, because he has a nice clothing line, so we can support the young man.
That's right.
So was that it? That's it.
Yeah.
So so our listeners, if you are an entrepreneur, or you know someone that's an entrepreneur, or know someone that has a nice business that you support, let us know about it. You can go to our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Go to our email. Our email address is mahoganyvoicespodcast@gmail.com, and let us know about it, and then we'll shout them out in the next episode. Okay. So ladies, any last thoughts before we wrap this up? Oh, I do have something. So I'm starting a
Yeah.
We didn't get the phone call, so let's see.
a jump rope challenge. So it starts tomorrow. It's a 30-day jump rope challenge.
All your knees.
And so I will put the flyer out on our Instagram and Facebook page. So if anybody want to join in, we don't have any prizes or anything. It's just about for health, and for fun. Just getting moving again. It's getting warm outside. People want to, get outside and do things. So just said, let me try this. So I'll send it out. I mapped out each day how long you supposed to jump. And we'll see how that go. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Sounds good.
Yes.
Maybe the prize, maybe the prize could be a new jump rope courtesy of Mahogany Voice podcast.
Or hula. They come in weights. They come in sizes. They come in weights.
So I think it's gonna be fun. And like I said, it's just to get you moving again. I was moving a little bit here and there, and then the pandemic. I'm just like, whatever. So, but now I'm trying to get back into it. Like Joanne, my girl Joanne,
Joanne go hard.
All right, Joanne.
Yes.
Joanne go hard.
But did anybody have any last minute comments?
Nice being back with you ladies again.
Yeah.
Get out there and conquer at least one fear. At least one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will be preaching.
Okay.
Well, I recorded it already. It will air on the 30th. That's Holy Week, right? It's for March Holy 30th. Week. So y'all had a little snippet of
yes, and
something that I
was
talking about.
Yes.
And I am actually that Tuesday at 12 noon. You can view it on social medias under Empowerment Temple AME Church. Is where I'll be preaching that Tuesday at 12 noon for Holy Week, which is March the 30th.
Sound like you conquering that. Sound like you conquering that field.
Put it on the calendar.
I already recorded it now.
Right, girl.
Calendar.
And we'll remind them in the next one too, because it won't be the 30th yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Friday.
Got some time.
All right, so we're gonna wrap our number 11 episode up. Number 11, yes. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and your family too. Go on, tell them about Mahogany Voices podcast so that y'all can get this good conversation and going. And we want some feedback from y'all too. Yeah. So go on over, like, share, subscribe, follow, and hit that bell when you go to YouTube so you can get notified when we upload a new episode. And follow us and do all that stuff. Share, tell all your friends all about us. Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
All of the
stuff. All. Mahogany Voices podcast. Don't forget it. Shout it to the world. Tell everyone.
Tell everybody.
We are here.
Yes, we are here to stay. Here to stay.
Excellent.
So
I love it.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the love and support from everyone. And as always, talk that talk and don't be afraid to use your voices for good, not evil. Continue to be the MVP in your own lives. And until next time, peace.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Yeah. I like that.